Now we're gonna make the tail. Again, start a new slip knot for a chain stitch. And chain stitch about 20 times. I repeat, 20 times you will chain stitch. So you will begin single crocheting. At the end of the single crochet, you know this. You chain stitch 1. And then you'll begin your single crocheting from here. Once you reach the end on the other side, you do not chain stitch. So you just begin your single crocheting. Yeah, I had to say that with enthusiasm. And you'll see why. So here's exactly why we chain stitch at this end but not at this end. So you see that it's kind of forming like a triangle shape. And here it's still maintaining a flat edge. Whenever you chain stitch, you maintain the flat edge. While if you don't chain stitch, it'll start to curve or move in a diagonal line. And that is useful and not that is useful, I mean to say, whenever you're trying to make triangles. So if you're trying to make triangles, not really forget, but just skip the process of chain stitching one end. But if you're trying to make a perfect square or any quadrilateral that have like a straight line or a right angle, you know what I mean, like a square, obviously. I already said that. You chain stitch at the ends of a single crochet. Trust me, it will make a difference if you do and if you do not. So I went back and forth 7 to 8 times. You know, 8 one time, 2 times, all the way to 8 times. So now that I reached the end, and now that it's almost like it's not really a triangle, but it's more of like a quadrilateral, but with a triangle, like, you know, edge. Triangular, that's the word. How do I keep forgetting? Anyways, so you chain stitch 1 at the end, and now at the end of where you keep chain stitching, 1 at the end. And what you need to do is make a single crochet from over there. And now that you have single crocheted here, what you will start doing is at the other edge, make it towards like that, you know, towards now like the shape of a pentagon. And I'll explain why we do that next. So now, you cut off a short end of the tail. And then, what you will do is tie it. And now it's secure and it won't come off. And with your crochet hook, you try to hide the tail. Or in case if you have a weaving needle, which I do, but I'm not using it right now, you weave the ends to hide the tail, as what you would do in most crochet projects. Alright. It's not completely hidden, but we're gonna fold this anyway. So now what you need to do is grab some yarn, and of course tie it to where the weaving needle is, and you'll begin sewing and whip stitching up these parts together. Just so it can be tight, and then when we stuff it in and flip it the other way around, we all know it's secure. And that would form the tail. So trust the process. Just like as I explained it, you turn it over. And in case of one of the stitches break, which kind of did, you can go back and sew it over. Or sew it. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. You sew it. And you continue on from there. If you're asking, hey, why is this taking a long time? Well, crochet takes a lot of time. Like, it is the fastest way to make a fabric, but it takes up a lot of time. So you need to have patience. Patience is essential whenever you're making any crafts in general. Alright, So, just like what you did with the arms, you sew it in, but this time to the back rather than the front, of course. That would look weird. And once you're done, so as always, you will begin your chain stitch with a slip knot, which I will keep saying whenever we're trying to make a single crochet project using the chain stitch. And we're going to chain stitch 3 times. Once you finish chain stitching 23 times, you will single crochet as the way I taught you to make a tube, and you will repeat single crocheting around the edges for about, you single crochet around 4 times. You cut off the string, and as always, whenever you're trying to end a project, you tie it. I had to rush to the store to buy this type of chenille yarn, and yes, as I mentioned, chenille yarn sheds a lot, which is what I'm using, but it's perfect for plushies. So here's how we will begin our spikes for our dinosaur. You start with a chain stitch, and then you stitch about 5 times, like this. I'll add an extra one in case. Yeah, 6 times I mean. And then you'll begin your single crochet from here. You know. Sorry if we keep covering my camera. Like that. Yep, you know, yarn over. So on one end, you chain stitch, just like what you would do whenever you're trying to make a flat edge. And once you reach the other side, you do not chain stitch. This would make it form into a right triangle, and then we crochet it around like if you were with a magic circle, to then make it to a shape like this, which looks like an actual spike, as an example. So just like that, we go back here, we single crochet, and then we begin single crocheting around, as you see, as what I'm doing right now. See, we've got a triangle, or what I like to call Phineas, of course, since I watch Phineas and Ferb, and you get the point. Phineas is a triangle. So as always, we cut the edge, you close it in, and then with your crochet hook, you hide the tail. Okay, I'm tired of saying the slip knot thing. So we're gonna chain stitch 7 with the slip knot, and here's when we don't have to, what's it called? Oh yeah, chain stitch 1 at the end of each row. This would create a shape where it looks like a half circle or a trapezoid, and this is what's gonna be for the sail or hump of the Spinosaurus. I'm pretty sure it's a sail though. It really makes me surprised how Spinosaurus is actually way larger than a T-Rex whenever you think about it. And we all know T-Rexes are huge. Even bigger than another type of dinosaur called Giganotosaurus. I already knew about that, but this is just a weird fact that every dino fan should know. I used to be in Jurassic World. I mean, I kinda am getting back into it. I still like dinosaurs though. Who is the most fanatic, especially for that one time, was my brother. I'm not sure if he still is though. After sewing the sail onto the back, what you need to do is, with a different color of yarn, single crochet around the sail. I'm using blue here for as an example. Sorry, my camera is kind of wobbly, but you see what I mean here. Around there. That's a better view. Sorry, my camera's kind of wobbly. Another thing I'd like adding is the claws. Like, I use my weaving needle to sew them in so it can appear like this rather than me crocheting it like multiple triangles, since that would be really hard. It's really a simple way to add some more detail. You see? 3 on each foot. And with a bit of sewing, the spine, the spikes, everything, I'm going to say a sail. It's all ready. That's it for today, guys. I hope you like it, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya. Yeah, I know, this is poorly made, but to wrap it all up, again, I repeat, subscribe and support the channel, and of course like the video if you find any of this useful, in case if you want me to make it more clear since the video is already poorly made anyway. Other than that, I'm out. Bye.